Well, it's been a number of weeks since I did anything with the clock, busy with work and getting a little bit frustrated with it, so I thought I'd have a little bit of a break. And I've done something a bit different, and I've changed the escape wheel. I had this slightly bigger 32mm escape wheel. I thought I'd adjusted everything to compensate for the slightly bigger wheel. And I've moved back over to the brass one that I'd originally made.
Another
and
little modification I did was notice a little bit of wobble in the great wheel. So following Steve's plans, I installed a standard flange bearing on either side of the collet block, and that seems to have really helped. So thanks for that, Steve. Should have done it in the first place.
So it's not the prettiest, it's not crossed out, but I just thought I'd give this one a go, and all of a sudden the clock sprung to life. It's been running for 48 hours, not stopped, not missed a beat. And I'm really pleased, because this has been quite frustrating. Got it running quite nicely, but I mentioned on some of the forums that I was getting the clock going in and out of beat constantly, and now that seems to have stopped. It still runs a little bit out of beat occasionally, but we're talking about using the sensor here, the eTimer sensor. So we're talking about, it's not audibly out of beat. So I'll show you some of the data now, but here it is running. So the eTimer, I've got this little microphone set up. It's going to a USB sound card down here, and then we'll just have a quick look at the software now. Okay, so here we are on the eTimer, and I'm not pretending at all I'm an expert with this, but what it is doing is allowing me to fine-tune my clock a lot more accurately than I could, or at least just to analyse it a lot more accurately than I could without it. There are some little blips that you're seeing, for example, here. And that's just with me speaking. It's picking it up on the microphone. So we might see a few errors here, but I can't help that. So just quickly in the setup, I'm not using most of the functions. Literally just got the train set to 3,600 beats per hour. And other than that, pretty much everything I think is stock. I've just calibrated the sound card. So there's a calibration setup or routine in here, and I've obviously sorted out and selected the output. So I'm just going to cancel that. And what you're immediately seeing is you can see that my clock is running a little bit slow, slightly to the right hand side. So this is an old ticker tape style on-screen electronic version. So you can see the ticks coming down the page there. You can see how it should be, in theory, sitting within the 1 second. It's a 1 second pendulum. So really, that's actually that red line should be on the 0 and the 1, but it's just slowly drifting over time because of the slow rate. And again, I can see that on the timer. When you actually drop this down to a slower feed rate, you can actually see those dots angling up the page a little bit due to the slow rate. But I've not got my sensitive little weight dish on yet. I am going to have to stop the clock and make that. It's one thing I've not made yet. And then if we pop over to the graph, we can see data logging. So I've been running this data logger now for a couple of hours. And we can see the long-term performance. So there's some horrible spikes. I'm not too sure why they are occurring. I mean, what's really interesting, I just wonder if some of them are a bit random. Like, for example, now since I've been in the workshop, there's way more spikes with me talking, and yet I'm not touching the clock. So I'm not too sure what that is. But overall, it's keeping a fairly steady rate, which is nice. In the beat error, you can see the beat error again. It's going in and out of beat. So I'm getting a portion about half the pendulum, half of the escape wheel. I'm getting a positive beat error and a little bit of it for the negative error. But it's nowhere near as bad as it was. It was absolutely horrendous. It was going from like 20 milliseconds positive to minus 30 milliseconds. Now we're within about 20 milliseconds either side. So it's much better than it was before. So I've got a long way to go. But it definitely is running now. So this is a nice, exciting part, hopefully, where I can actually start tinkering with the clock, trying to improve it rather than just getting it to run. So that's eTimer. I'm just going to go on to another piece of software now, which I've also used to analyse the escape wheel, which has also been very useful. So this piece of software is called Tracker, and this is looking at the old escape wheel. Okay, good evening. So I posted a video last night Quite excited that I thought I'd sorted out the Tekippe clock, and a couple of eagle-eyed viewers pointed out that they thought there was some recoil on the entry pallet. John Hain over on the Model Engineer forum suggested that I gave tracker software a go, and I'm probably not using it to its full potential at all, but it's quite a nice bit of software just for the video alone. It plays it literally frame by frame. So this is the a video that I took of the clock in the same state it was yesterday when I posted the video. And what this will do in a minute when it decides to play ball, it seems to have slowed down a little bit because I'm screen recording at the same time. You can clearly see just from the video alone in a moment that there is some recoil. But over on the right hand side, we don't need this, but it's just a nice visual. You can see that actually on the entry pallet there is a little bit of recoil. And on the exit pallet it's dead flat. Again, entry pallet. Coming back over to here. So this is the locking face about to engage, which it does. It slides up it, and we're fully locked. We'll play this for a little bit longer. It's normally a little bit quicker than this. I think because I'm screen recording, it's doing it at the same time. This is actually where it's taking the graph off. This was a manual plot of the escape wheel. And again, you'll be able to see now in a minute some recoil. So here it goes. The red marks are getting in the way a little bit, but you'll definitely be able to see just from the escape wheel alone that there we go. It moves back a little bit. And then we get the lock. So there's definitely a little bit of recoil on there. So nice software just for literally playing the videos frame by frame, but the graph's just a little extra as well. And I'm sure if anybody can tell me what I can do with that to improve, or what else I could do with this software, then that would be really good. And then just to continue, so just pause that for a second. Just going to go back over to this other video. So the other video is of the clock in its current position. On this one, I did put a little white marker on it. I just wanted to try the auto tracking feature, which is why you can see there's a lot more plotted on this one. It took me absolutely ages just to plot, fairly accurately plot the previous graph. So on this one, I've tried to reduce the drop and obviously remove that recoil. So here we go. Again, I'm hoping this will play a little bit quicker. It definitely is playing, unfortunately, a little bit slower, I think, because of the screen recording. So here's the exit pallet, just releasing. The only thing that does concern me is the entry pallet goes very close to the top of that tooth, but I don't think it hits it. I think it just releases just in time. So maybe does that mean that the pallet needs dropping down a little bit itself? Obviously, I could drop both of them down, but I don't really necessarily want that. It's just the entry pallet. So there you go. It locks onto the locking face and then slides over the impulse face. And again, on this graph, you can see this time a nice clean graph, steady on both horizontal on both sides, on both pallets. So anyway, just a little video. If anybody's used tracker software, let me know how I could utilise this better. There are some fluctuations. I mean, I'm trying to look at it's trying to follow a white dot, and the white dot in the grand scheme of this clock is quite big. Use something smaller, I'm guessing, would be the answer, but I don't know whether you saw it blur then just as I was saying that. As soon as you get a little bit of motion, things start to blur. So if you don't have it big enough, I don't think it's going to be able to track it. There's lots of different options for using the plotting on the x-axis here. Better pause this, like I say, I'm having a bit of a problem with the screen recording at the same time. But basically, there's lots of different options that you can plot. Velocity, for example. You can also plot angular velocity, angular momentum, momentum angle. But to me, they don't really mean anything, unfortunately. So thankfully, it was the first one exposition that I found, and the one that means most to me. But if anybody can describe which one I should use and why I should use it, I'd love to learn more. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and thanks for everybody that commented yesterday. You were absolutely right. There was some recoil, but there isn't now. Thank you. See you next time.